let's break into this case. Let's talk about it. It's a very popular case. It's hard touching down on popular cases because it's popular. And so everybody's got their opinions and questions, and I've been watching everybody's videos, and the thing is I got questions about this case that nobody's asking. I got questions, and we're going to go through them because this case does raise uncomfortable questions. We're going to go through them all. I didn't write them down. I should have wrote them down and bullet pointed them. I never write down a script or anything, which is bad. So, let's see. What should we start with? The mess? This is a big mess. This case is a big mess. Let's see. Image, screen. I agree. I've never seen a car crash this bad. So let me start off with my own personal experience real quick because it plays into this. So when I was 18 with my first husband, I live in Salt Lake City, Utah area. Well, I lived in Salt Lake at the time. And he'd only worked for Budget Rent-A-Car for a week, and he had only had his driver's license for 6 months. And he was 18, and I was 18, and Budget picked on the new guy. They're like, hey, let's send the new guy to Colorado to get the broke down car. And so my husband called me and said, hey, I got to go to Colorado to Glenwood Springs. It's an 8-hour drive. Do you want to come? And I said, no. I started crying. I didn't feel good about it. But my mom took 2 hours and talked me into it. I had a 10-month-old son. I didn't feel like. So anyways, we travel out to Glenwood Springs. We pick up the car. It's working. The guy lied. The Budget didn't even try and test and see if the car worked, which was really stupid. And so we're towing a car that we don't have to tow, which is really dumb. We could have just gone out to Colorado Springs in a regular car and traded cars and came back in the car. And so anyways, we're towing this car. We're coming into Green River, Utah, 4 hours from Salt Lake. And we wreck. Rollover accident. The cop took pictures for me, so I know what it looks like. It was a really bad accident. We were in a single cab Ford F-150, and the whole cab was crushed in. And I remember looking at the clock, thinking it was noon, going, okay, we're going to be in Green River in 10 minutes. I'm going to call my mom, see how my son's doing. They'll probably be out of church by then. I'm sitting here making plans in my head. I tell my husband, I said, I'm really tired. And so I leaned against the passenger door, and he said, why don't you take off your seatbelt and just lay across the bench like you did yesterday? And I was like, I didn't feel right taking off my seatbelt. So I said, I want to keep my seatbelt on. And I was laying against the door, and my husband looked in the rearview mirror, and he said, and I looked up, and that's the last thing I remember. Before falling out of the driver's side door of the truck, I don't remember my husband unbuckling my seatbelt and grabbing me. I remember screaming and trying to open the passenger door, and it wouldn't open. And then the next thing I remember is blacking out, laying on the side of the road. And some people bringing me pillows and blankets, and it was noon, and the sky looked black. I was blacking out. I was in shock. Everybody told me, calm down, calm down. Later, I had to have my husband tell me about the accident. I don't remember it. So there is moments, in my opinion, that if the accident is really truly an accident, that from the moment fear sets in, your brain can block it out. I blocked out why the accident was even going to happen, because I went to go look out the rear window to see what my husband was freaking out about. And that's the last thing I remember, is turning my head. I don't remember anything else. I don't remember the truck spinning, rolling. I don't remember anything. I have specks of memory. And that's because it was a true accident. And my brain, so my husband remembers the whole thing, and my ex does, and I don't. I have blocked it out. So that can happen. And even if it's not an accident and it's planned, most likely you're going to remember just before the impact, at least, because they were all passed out anyways, I think. I mean, when they pulled her out of the car, she was awake. But anyways, let's look at the crash site. So yeah, anybody who's been in an accident kind of knows that you can have amnesia.
The engine's throttle was at a full 100% for 1.6 seconds as she flew over a curb and into the brick wall of a building.
Look at that mess. It's a bad mess. It's a bad mess. I like that this shows you, well, I should probably wipe it, both the footage of the crash before and after. Like, that is a horrific mess. Like, the building, the car, everything. I'm surprised the car just didn't, you know. I wonder if the reason why she survived is because she's so tiny. She's so tiny and flexible. By the way, yes, there will be dogs wandering in the background. And Blue, you need to chill out. He's upset because my husband works from home and he wants to be with my husband. Okay, let's see. So you're going to hear him cry a little bit because he's got anxiety when he's away from my husband.
One of the
Okay, let's see. I want to see what else this one shows. I don't know what else this video shows that I want to talk about. So the first thing I want to get into is Mackenzie was 17 and Dom was 20. Everybody is up in not in this Mackenzie Shirilla community, but in other communities, people are all up in arms about adults dating children, which I see, because when Dom was 18, that means she would have been 15. When he was 17, she would have been 14. And they say that they were together through their whole high school years. So she was 14-ish when he was a senior graduating. And so you have this 17-year-old dating this 14-year-old, and he turns 18 and she's 15. And this is okay with both parents, with everything. Like this is okay. This 20-year-old is with a 17-year-old. And that's neither of the like, it's like, where were the parents the whole 4 years? The whole 4 years, where were both parents? When Dom's mom got notified of Dom's passing, the first thing she said is, "Where's Mackenzie's mom?" Like, you know, they have a strong, good relationship, because the first thing she said was, "Where's Mackenzie's mom?" Like, she cared for her. Up until the point see. I want to look at. Okay, so I heard about like he was texting at 3 a.m. 2 hours, almost 3 hours before the crash. About he was texting his goodbyes. Like, what's up with that? Like, nobody. I heard a brief snippet about it, and then nobody's talked about it. Like, why is there this brief snippet about it? Well, no, it doesn't matter if you live till 70. Time goes by fast. I tell you, it does. I'm not 70, but. And Mackenzie was living with Dom. And so she's 17. So the mom is letting, both moms here are allowing this girl to go live wherever she wants, go do whatever she wants. And people talk about, well, Dom had started his own companies, Dom was doing this, Dom was doing that. And when I see pictures of Dom, I don't see a business style 20-year-old trying to get into business. Like, I come from where everybody's talking about Nick Shirley and Charlie Kirk and all of those guys, and they didn't look like this at 20. This is not how they look at 20. And the rug, the all the substances they found on both parents knew you have an underage girl and you have an adult male dating, living wherever they want to live, and you knew about all the substances, the substance use. Okay, and so people at school, friends, knew that she drove erratic. This was normal behavior for her to drive 90 miles per hour, to be on substances, to do this, to do that. I mean, you guys, like, people use CPS for all the wrong reasons. This is the right reason to use it. A teenager out there on substances, like, this is the right use, what they're supposed to be there for. But they're not. Instead, they're kidnapping kids from good families and making money off them. They're not taking 17-year-olds who are trouble because nobody wants to adopt or raise or conform or deal with. Even Dr. Phil had a hard time with that. Let's not even talk about Turnabout Ranch. That's a whole nother crime talk channel. Sorry, I'm just getting over being sick, so. Before the car crash on July 31st. I think Davian, poor guy, was collateral damage in whatever was going on with Dom and Mackenzie, because what about these text messages that Dom was sending? I have not watched the crash, but part of me is not exactly interested in it because
the crime we're investigating.
People are going to spin the story, and I'm going to end the video with talking why this spinning of the story, why they need this story so bad. Because why in 2026 is this a big deal? Because all of this happened 4 years ago.
Department worked quickly to have a life where, as Netflix just released a documentary about this case, that the side airbags going off in the final seconds before the crash could have contributed to the severity of the event. He said, and I quote, "It occurred in about 4.5 to 5 seconds before."
Out of a place that you say is my home.
I didn't kick you out. You took all your shit and dipped.
Okay, I want to talk about this.
If there is one thing that can be taken away from this case, as painful as it is this. Every decision we make is important. Every act.
Okay, so this is Davian's
We're
mom.
lost to truly.
She's properly dressed for court. Look at her. Like, but this is how Davian's mom normally dresses. This isn't abnormal for Davian's mom.
Davian was adopted with his sisters from foster care.
And look at the sister.
But it's traumatic.
Nice jewelry, hair in a bun, jacket. Don't know what type of shirt's on under, but that's okay because she's got the jacket on. She's looking very polished, very fresh. You have Dom's mom. She cleaned up a lot for this too. She's got the navy blue blazer with the navy blue shirt on under, gold jewelry. Her hair's a little more tamed, but it looks good on her. Like, some people look good with that curly, crunchy mess.
Brother and son. Friends and family leave memorabilia, notes, pictures, things.
You get, oh my gosh, this is such a mess. Okay, why is nobody talking about this either? You have Mackenzie's mom in a tank top shirt in court. Her hair is like just combed, just like she didn't even try. No jewelry. She's got a ring and a weird bracelet, and is she wearing a bra? Is she wearing a bra? Because she's going to court, standing up for her daughter, who's about to be sentenced, and she's got to speak for her daughter because she's being sentenced, and she's wearing a tank top shirt with no bra, and her hair just combed a little bit. I would have been like dyeing my hair, doing it nice, being like Dom and Davian's mom, wearing blazers and button-up shirts and court pants. I mean, you don't have to wear a dress, but you do have to go to court.
And he didn't answer the phone. So then I tried to call his.
She's very overly emotional. I don't think she's wearing a bra.
Mom, and she didn't answer the phone either. And I still didn't know who was in the car. I didn't even know if she was alive. I didn't know what was happening. So then we were in the waiting room. And then his mom ended up thinking she did call me.
One
so
little
phone,
clip,
and I was like, oh
one little clip in your hair. And yeah, she's talking about her experience, and she didn't even say, like, we didn't even know if Mackenzie was alive. She didn't say we didn't know who was with her. We didn't know if Dom was with her. We didn't know all of this stuff. All we knew is there was Mackenzie, a wreck, some passengers. We're panicking. We're freaking out. Like,
God, like, I don't even know who was in the car. Like, what's happening? Was that Dom? And she said, what do you mean? My son is dead. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And then she said something like, and now I have to wait till your kid's out of the hospital. And then I didn't hear the rest.
yeah, that's the wrong thing to say to a judge. Oh my gosh. Where's the lawyers or something standing by her? Because, like, when you have Dom's mom up there, like, she had a little bit of an unfair advantage, I'll say. Because who's this woman standing by these guys? You have this woman in this girl, and then you have this woman who's standing there for Davian's mom,
7/21. I'm sorry,
Dom's mom.
2022.
And she's in a blazer and a white shirt, just like them, hair curl.
So much more than part of. He was.
So she's there.
He was 20 years old.
Okay, so I jumped
Then
on.
you have
and I was
her, like nobody helped her. She's
And on
all
behalf of
alone.
Mackenzie,
Halloween, and it was an OU. And she didn't even want to go. She said, I don't know, should I?
Hopes, what kind of expectations do you have for Mackenzie's future?
That the truth will set her free. That's what I need to have happen. The truth, that there was no intent, that
She
part,
looks a
the
little
truth will
better on
set her
this
free.
interview.
So when I first
Her hair is a little more like purposefully styled. And she's in a decent shirt. Like, this is how she should have gone to court.
Intentionally, and she didn't. And there's like, and they don't know. There's information they didn't see. There's information
But you can't be emotional in front of judges. And I do want to talk about bench trial versus jury trial. The reason why you don't do a bench trial, there's like two main reasons. One, when you do a jury trial, what most people don't understand is you take the power away from the courts and you put it in the hands of we the people. And you get to explain your case to normal people. It's hard when your case is very televised, but you shift. Prosecutors do not like jury trials because if they do a bench trial or a plea deal, they get to control the courtroom, the outcome, the sentencing, everything. Them and the judge. And generally, they're on the same page, the prosecution and the judge. You come into the courtroom, you are guilty. Nobody thinks you're innocent at all. That framing has changed over the decades. Like, nobody honors the state is supposed to prove. And then you have all the, indicting by information versus grand jury. When you're dealing with a life sentence, you're supposed to indict by grand jury, not by information. And so I don't know if this case started by information or grand jury indictment. But and also people don't understand this, and I'll explain this in a sec too. Let me finish the bench trial thing. So, because thoughts are just coming to my head. So in a bench trial, the power completely lies with the court, with the judge, with the state. And they know the law. Okay? They know the law. So the whole thing is when you turn it over to a jury or a judge, they look at the law on the books. They look at the crime. They look at the evidence that was presented. Does it match the law? Does it fit the law? Do you think she's guilty? And by the definition of the law. And so they'll instruct the jurors, here's everything we're charging them with. You have to look at the law, interpret the law, and tell us if she's guilty. So when they read the guilty verdict, when you receive the paper in court, the guilty verdict tells why they deemed you guilty. They can't just say guilty and write it off. So if the jury comes back and they hand the judge one piece of paper, you're most likely innocent. If they hand the judge a couple of pieces of paper, be prepared for some very, very, very bad news because they had to type up some guilty verdicts, and why. So a bench trial, the judge is going to interpret the law very different than a jury, and a person who looks at the law doesn't understand the law, doesn't know how to read the law. And so this is where you want to do jury trial and put the power in the hands of the people, take it off the prosecutor, take it off the state, take that power away, because now the prosecution has to perform for the jury, not the judge. And it's easier for the prosecution to perform for the judge than it is a jury of people. And so she might have got a similar outcome with a jury, but at least we, the people, took it into our hands. And that's what matters. On my TikTok Talk with Rose, I talk about this, about putting the power back in with we the people in our court systems, because our courts are closed off, especially family courts, and they're designed to push the Constitution out, to go by policy and procedure, not law. to go, it could be political, like I'm in the Gypsy Rose case. Gypsy Rose, people are mad at that she only served 8.5 years, and they're trying to make Fancy Maselli's trying to do this Dee Dee's Law thing to make it so that people can't profit off the crime if they get out of prison early. Well, that's not what you should be mad at. What you should be mad at is the reason she only had a 10-year sentence and got that golden deal for what she did was because it was a political thing. It was political. The governor was up for re-election, and he wanted to look lenient on this poor girl that was trapped by her mother in a wheelchair for her whole life. And so be mad at the court systems for bringing politics into the court system. Politics should never enter into the court system. Oh my gosh, politics should never enter into the court system. And so, yeah. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Is this not working? Oh my gosh. Have I been muted this whole time on this one? Oh my gosh. I don't know. Uh-oh. I think I screwed up. I don't think my mic's been working on my other channel. Uh-oh. Can my mic not? Oh, Blink Idea. Yo, this live is pre-recorded? No. Sorry. I wasn't paying attention to the chat. I wasn't expecting people in the chat, but yes. My gosh, it's not pre-recorded. Oh my gosh, I screwed up my live because I think my other channel, I'm going to have to, oh my gosh. Okay. I think I'm not, okay. Let's see. Gosh darn. Oh. Okay. Restream is confusing me because it's supposed to stream to everything I tell it to stream to. I am sorry. I didn't know anybody was in my chat. This is not pre-recorded. I am live. My gosh, I screwed up this live. I screwed it up. I think I screwed it up. I don't know. I'm new to trying to do. I haven't done multi screens in a long time. Okay. I'll just continue and see what happens. I don't know. I'll check it after. I guess I'll check it after I'm done, and then maybe I'll have to redo it for the other channel. I don't know. Anyways, what I want to talk about is the charges. Okay. Okay, what are Mackenzie Shirilla's charges? Okay, so people are confused about this because she has, 12 felony charges. So why does she have 12 felony charges? So she's got murder, 4 counts, felonious assault, 4 counts, aggravated vehicle homicide, 2 counts, drug possessing criminal tools. So why is there 4 counts of murder on top of aggravated vehicular homicide, 2 counts? Here's what happens when the prosecutors bring you to court. I'm going to watch the chat, by the way. I'm watching the chat. When prosecutors bring you to court, they want to make sure you go down for something. So they're not just going to go for 4 counts of murder, because what if they do go to jury trial? And what if they say, no, this was an accident? Well, then they have 2 counts of aggravated vehicular homicide to fall back on, and 4 counts of felonious assault to fall back on. Now, they do this so that she's going to prison no matter what, okay? Each one of these charges carry a sentence. And when it says 4 counts, what if each of them carry 10 years and they decide, what are they going to do? Consecutive, you know, yeah, excuse me. So, yeah, consecutive versus concurrent. So, if they go concurrent, well, then she only serves 10. If they go consecutive, she serves 40. But I don't know the on each one. But that's the thing, is what prosecutors do is what they refer to as shotgunning it. So when you, with a shotgun, it splatters and it hits multiple targets, okay? That's what prosecutors do. If the original charge, they think that you can overcome it with your evidence and it's not going to stick, they will tack on 10 other charges because they're going to get something to stick. My lawyer one time told me, said, Rose, if you fight this, take the plea deal. If you fight this, they're just going to tack on this and that and that and that until something sticks. Because they do this shotgun approach to the law, which shouldn't be right. So they do that. They do this shotgun approach to the law. Oh, but yeah, she looks a lot better in this video. But, like, all the adults in this story failed. You just see mistakes everywhere. I grew up in the 90s. I was a teenager in the 90s. And in the 90s, I could tell you that sometimes, I hitchhiked home once from Wendover, and my parents had no idea. At 4 a.m, I'm with my brothers hitchhiking home from Wendover to Salt Lake because their car broke down. But people are trying to stop that now. Like, you gotta be a helicopter parent nowadays. And so these parents, I don't believe in being an exact helicopter parent, but I also believe in, like I said, she was 14 and Dom was 17 when he turned 18. When my son turned 18, I told him no underage girls in this house after 11 p.m. And that was being lenient to him. I would go downstairs and kick all the girls out at 11 p.m. because I said all it takes is one mother who found out their daughter at 2 a.m. is in your bedroom, and it doesn't matter what she says, or it doesn't matter what you say happened. Nothing. They're friends. You're just friends. You like to hang out all night long. That happens. I mean, trust me. All night long, we had people over in our house 24/7. Sometimes I didn't get sleep at all and went to school with zero sleep. But I was like, dude, no. All it takes, I tried to prevent my son from getting any kind of charges like that the mom's like, nope, my daughter was at your house. Statutory, great, great, yeah. And so he was mad at me, and he moved out as soon as he turned 18. Not too long after he turned 18, because he wanted to party and have fun and not have me stop it. And because I was killjoy on his fun. But when your son is 18 and all of his friends are still in high school, you have to be like, dude, you can't do this. You are 18. You have to act 18. Because even at 17, sometimes 17-year-olds can be charged as an adult. Some don't. It depends on the prosecution and the judge. Some get charged in juvenile court. That's rare. That's very, very rare, especially when it deals in serious crime. And so, oh my gosh, just the questioning of the adults, we can spend all day on this, just questioning the adults. Let's see. Maybe I'll just go over the final thing, and I need to see if I messed up on recording this. Okay, so my final thought that I kind of want to go over. So this case happened in what, 2002? And then she went to court in 2022. Gosh darn it. I'm having a hard time in the new year. And she went to court in 2024. All this is said and done in the past. So why did they come out with a documentary now and this case is lit on fire? Like, I'm in the Gypsy Rose community and everybody's upset because this case is on fire, and it's all of us streamers have turned towards the Shirilla case instead of talking about Gypsy. Her case is so done. We've already for 2 years, for over a year, for like a year and a half, I was in that community, and we have come up with every theory possible. It's time to kind of leave her alone and let her live her life. That baby's not real. I was up on Case's panel talking about that. Anyways, where was I going with this? Final thoughts. Oh yes, why now? Why this documentary? Because I think I have this like alternate theory. I gotta show you a video real quick. Give me a sec. I want to show you a video. Oops. Okay, so search. I want to do. There's this video that I want to show you real quick. I should have had it pulled up in the background. Okay, let's look at her channel real quick. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, I thought it was sooner than that. I thought she did this recently. Let's see. Am I gonna have to Google the... Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can Google the video I'm thinking about. Now that I know her channel name. Okay, here we go. I found the video. Google works. All right. Okay. Okay. Okay, this is the right video. Okay. Let's full screen this video. Now let me change this replays video. Whoops. Screen share. Is it this one? No. This one. Share. Okay, I want you to see this video real quick. If you have not seen it, and if you have TikTok, Granny Bibbins does common sense. Love her. She does bring back common sense videos. Okay, anyways, here we go.
That ain't looking good.
Granny, we gotta go.
You think?
Oops.
Let's go.
Come on.
Due to elevated heart rate, high stress levels, and panic indicators, you are not fit to operate this vehicle.
What? There's a tornado!
Have you tried calming down?
Daryl, it's getting bigger.
Start the truck!
Let's begin a breathing exercise. Inhale. Exhale.
I'm not breathing right now!
Daryl, do something.
I'm trying!
Analyzing driver condition, I've determined you
I know what you've determined, but you're wrong!
I am never wrong.
Whose bright idea was this?
Your government's.
Granny, I have a feeling we're not in America anymore.
Uh-oh.
Somewhere over the rainbow.
Okay, I love this video. Oh, because okay, so in 2021, a law was put in place, a federal law was put in place to put those systems in our cars. And they were supposed to have it done by 2024. 2024 came, and the government's like, where is our cars with this technology? And everybody's like, well, we didn't know how to build this technology. You didn't tell us how to do it. They made the law, but they didn't have the technology when they made the law. And they had no idea how they were going to get it done. They just told the people, here's the law, get it done. Just do it. And so they reset the date for 2027. This is 2027's reality, because now that they know what the government wants, they've gotten the technology for it. Now, how does this apply to the Mackenzie Shirilla case if you haven't figured it out yet? What if she had this in her car? She would have never been able to speed up to 100 miles per hour. If her and Dom were fighting, the car would have shut down. It would have lowered her speed until she pulled over and made her calm down before she could start her car. She would have been abandoned had she had this in her. So why in 2026 do we need to be all fired up about this case? Because the World Economic Forum needs you to want this. They need you to want this system in all your brand new vehicles. They want you to say Dom and Davian would still be alive today. They haven't said this yet, but they're going to say this. We're still mid-2026 and they're still preparing this in vehicles, so they have not said this. But I guarantee you, this is the first stepping stone to them saying Dom and Davian would be alive had we had this enacted back in 2022. They put the law in 2021, and it was supposed to be done by 2024, so it still wouldn't have been in time to save Dom and Davian. But the story is still there because people like the World Economic Forum like to profit off of people like Dom and Damien who are victims of this. And Mackenzie is the new poster girl for this technology. She's going to be. She's not yet. She's going to be. I know she's going to be. She's going to be the poster girl for this new technology. And this is why this case is so important to me, is because we need to fight this technology. They're putting in data centers. I live here in Utah. We're going wild over the data center in is it Beaver County? Bear County? I don't know. Bear County, I think. Up north by the Idaho border. And they have been planning this from the beginning. Because of the land purchases and when they happened. They were always planning on because Governor Cox got caught a couple years ago at the time of his election. We the People Utah, this couple who runs their YouTube channel, approached Governor Cox and asked him about smart cities. And Governor Cox told him, "You're insane. Smart cities, that's your word, not my word. There's no such thing." Conspiracy theorists. 5 minutes later, Governor Cox was recorded in a meeting literally saying the word smart city, that Utah will be the first smart state. And the first stepping stone is data centers. The second stepping stone is these cars. The third stepping stone is all the townhomes they're building. There's no more homes anymore. They're not building single family homes hardly anymore. There's a few of them going up, but mostly there's apartments and townhomes, and every neighborhood looks exactly alike. We're going into a mixture between, I think we're hitting like Equilibrium, that if you've seen that movie with Christian Bale, we're hitting Equilibrium, we're hitting Handmaid's Tale, we're hitting 1984, and we're hitting a lot of Equilibrium. If you've seen Equilibrium, everybody lives in the same gray. Guess what the new color is to sell your house? Why did I pick gray for my walls? Not because I wanted gray. I didn't want this gray. Because my realtor told me to. Now I got to repaint it and decorate back here so my streams look better. That's why it's so plain back here, is because my realtor wanted things this way. So I didn't mean to have things this way, by the way. And I will do something about that wall now that we're not moving. Oh, so yes. Anyways, this case is going to be the poster case for all of this technology. Because first, you make the documentary, you get every creator out there and every influencer. How do you control all the influencers? You get them all fired up about the same case. You get them jumping on the same cause. And then you get them all wanting the same technology and boosting the same technology. This case is our future. It's not our past. And that video I just showed you is our future if we let data centers go up, if we continue in this AI world, and then we allow our government. I've been watching this mechanic guy also on TikTok, and he talks about, yes, they made this law vague. Why do they make laws vague? They do this on purpose. I commented on his channel, let him know this. The reason why they make laws vague, they'll make a federal law vague so that the states can put their own policy and procedures and control in it. So every state has to obey the federal laws, but there's allowances for policy and procedures in state laws, even though federal law overrides all that. But it's crazy how that works, but it does. Anyways, this is our future. This case is going to lead to that technology. Because everybody's going to say, and I bet you they're going to get Dom and Davian's moms to be like, yes, this would have saved my son. Had we had this, my son would still be alive today. Let me know if I missed anything. Let me know if you've had any questions that nobody's saying that you want to talk about, because I'm here to talk about the things that nobody's talking about. The things that are kind of unpopular that nobody wants to talk about. I didn't really go too much into Dom and the fact that, and I could do that more later if you want me to, because because Dom is a victim, and I'm not saying he's not a victim, he is a victim, but because Dom's a victim and he passed away, nobody's going to say anything that doesn't work in his favor. And I don't doubt that he was a good guy. He was trying his own businesses. But this is why you don't date a child when you are an adult. Because a child cannot comprehend. When I was 16, I was in the back of a truck with a guy who just wildly drove down the avenues and went through several stop signs. I'm lucky to be here because that's what children do. I never got in his truck again after that because don't want to. This is what kids do. Kids do this. And so when you're 20, you should be dating somebody your age-ish or older. 20 is really hard age because you can't. The youngest you can go is 18. And then people, well, it's a cougar if you're a male and you're going older for a woman, or you got to age up to 25, 26 and then date somebody either a little bit younger or a little bit older about your age. Like 20 is a hard age to date. I'll admit that. That is a very hard age to date. Anyways, I'm going to try and put some of this on my TikTok. I'm going to try and work my TikToks. And I will see you guys all later. I'm going to try and manage all of my YouTubes and TikToks for you guys and combine them, and so you can watch either one. And I'm going to try. I'm going to really try hard to manage I've been sick. I've been a little down and depressed. And so I've been trying to get back to streaming. It's a little hard, but anyways, love you guys. I'm going to make some intros and outros. Tell me what kind of intro, outro you want to see. Like, what should I do for my crime talk with Rose kind of thing? Talk with Rose about crime. Yeah. Anyways, love you guys tons. Let me know what I did and didn't miss or something. Or if I said something you've been thinking about that nobody else is talking about. But let me know if you want me to make future videos on this and talk about this. I don't know if I have to wait 10 seconds.